Imagine this. You help everyone. You listen. You never argue. You're the good guy. And yet, women treat you like air. Your boss skips you when it's time for a raise. And somewhere under the surface, you feel this quiet frustration that keeps growing, even if you don't say it out loud. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You're not a good man. You're harmless. And in biology and in economics, harmless doesn't mean pure or morally superior. It simply means not essential. In this episode, I'm going to show you with psychology and cold logic that your nice guy strategy is not kindness. It is a broken business model. It is a pattern of behavior that slowly bankrupts your relationships, your finances, and your self-respect. This is not therapy. This is an audit. If that already makes you uncomfortable, that means this episode is for you. Brutal self-mastery. Let's begin. Let's start with the definition, because most men lie to themselves here. A nice guy is not simply a man who does good things. A nice guy is a man who uses niceness as a currency to buy approval, love, validation, or sex. He doesn't act from choice. He acts from fear and from the hope of a hidden reward. Psychotherapist Robert Glover called this pattern the covert contract. The formula looks like this. If I hide my flaws, never set boundaries, and do everything for you, then you must give me love, loyalty, sex, opportunities, and never get angry at me. The problem is simple. The other person never signed that contract. You are running an entire emotional business plan based on a deal that exists only in your head. So what happens? You keep dropping coins of niceness into a vending machine that was never designed to give you what you want. You press the button labeled respect. Nothing comes out. You press the button labeled love. Nothing comes out. You press the button labeled loyalty. Still nothing. A healthy man looks at the machine once, shrugs, and walks away. The nice guy starts kicking the machine, at least internally. That's why so many so-called good guys eventually explode with passive aggression, guilt-tripping, silent treatment, or moral lectures. Their kindness was never clean. It was a tool. When it doesn't work, they turn resentful. You didn't get rejected because you were too good. You got rejected because your goodness was conditional, anxious, and full of unspoken expectations, and the other person's nervous system felt it. Ask yourself honestly, when you're being nice, are you genuinely okay with getting nothing in return? If the honest answer is no, then we're not talking about kindness. We're talking about a covert contract. Now let's pull feelings out of the equation for a moment and talk about behavior and results. In personality psychology, there is a trait called agreeableness. People high in agreeableness are cooperative, avoid conflict, try to keep harmony, and are quick to say yes. Research on men in the workplace shows a clear pattern. Men who score extremely high on agreeableness tend, on average, to earn less and get promoted less often than those who are still decent human beings, but willing to negotiate, set limits, and risk a bit of tension. Why? Because respect works like a currency. Think of your respect, your time, and your yes, like money issued by a central bank. If you print money constantly and hand it out to everyone, you get inflation. The more you print, the less each unit is worth. If you give your attention, approval, and emotional effort to everyone, all the time, without any standards, without boundaries, and without a real no, you create inflation of your own value. People don't chase what is always available and costs nothing. They chase what is reliable, but not cheap. Women feel this instinctively. The job market feels this instinctively. A man who can't say no, who never pushes back, who never risks disagreement, is sending a very simple signal. My approval costs nothing. My time costs nothing. My self-respect costs nothing. Nobody makes a serious long-term investment into an asset that prices itself at zero. And here is a distinction most nice guys never hear. Many women are not looking for a man who is incapable of ever being firm or forceful. They are looking for a man who has the capacity for strength and confrontation, but chooses discipline and responsibility. A rabbit is not virtuous because it doesn't attack anyone. It simply doesn't have the ability. You are not virtuous just because you never raise your voice, never disagree, and never draw a line. You might simply be unable to protect anything, including yourself. Hard question, are you truly acting from your values, or are you just afraid of disapproval? Let me put a face to this pattern. One of my coaching clients, let's call him Paul, was 32, solid job in IT, no addictions, no loud drama. From the outside, he looked like the textbook example of what people say they want in a partner. He did everything for his girlfriend. He cleaned, he cooked, he bought gifts without any occasion. He never said no. He always adjusted to her plans and preferences. And then, one day, she left. Her explanation, "You're too good for me. You deserve someone better." Paul spent months replaying that sentence in his head. How can being too good be a problem? So we slowed it down. When she was stressed, he swallowed his own stress and said nothing. When she was unfair, he told himself, "She's just tired." When she crossed his boundaries, he told himself, "It's not worth a conflict." When she asked, he gave, always. He believed he was giving her safety. In reality, he was giving her a man without a visible backbone. He never defended his own opinion when picking a movie, and yet he expected her nervous system to trust him in a real crisis. Her body read the situation faster than her mind. If he can't protect his own time, his own energy, and his own perspective, how is he going to protect me, our potential children, or our shared future? She didn't leave because he was too good. She left because his version of good felt unstable and unsafe. And here is the medicine that most men don't want to swallow. You were not rejected despite your goodness. You were rejected because your goodness was a mask for fear, and that fear leaked through every gesture. You weren't present as an adult man with a spine. You were present as a polite boy trying not to cause trouble. If you recognize yourself in Paul, don't rush to hate her or to hate women. Put the focus where it belongs, on the strategy that keeps failing you. Let's clear something up before your ego starts playing defense. This episode is not an invitation to become rude, selfish, or cruel. We're not replacing the nice guy with a cartoon villain. We're replacing manipulation and fear with clarity and responsibility. Right now, your strategy probably looks like this. You avoid conflict. You hide your needs. You constantly adjust to others. You overgive. And then, deep inside, you expect the world to pay you back with interest. That is not morality. That is emotional gambling. Real morality looks different. You tell the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. You set boundaries clearly before resentment explodes. You don't offer what you can't afford to give. You give from choice, not from desperation. You don't use your niceness as a quiet demand for a reward. From a praxeology perspective, we ask one cold question. Does your current behavior create the results you say you want? If the answer is no, then we are not talking about values. We are talking about a strategy that doesn't work. You don't fix a failing business by handing out even more discounts and coupons. You fix it by changing the offer, the pricing, and the way you show up to the market. Same with you. For a moment, forget the question, am I a good person? Ask instead, is the way I act actually working in the real world? Now let's talk about what you can actually do. Not someday, not after you feel ready. This week, step 1, the no. A friend pushes you into plans you're not excited about. Say no. You don't need to be rude. You need to be honest. At first, your body will react as if you're doing something wrong. You will feel guilty. You will want to explain yourself. Don't over-explain. Keep it simple. Watch what actually happens. The world doesn't collapse. Some people respect you more. and the ones who don't were never really interested in you, only in your compliance. Step 2. Kill the covert contracts. Every time you do something for someone, silently ask yourself, if I knew for sure that I will get nothing in return, would I still want to do this? If the answer is no, you have 2 clean options. Don't do it, or say clearly what you want in exchange. I'll help you with this project if we both go to the boss afterwards and clarify my role. I can give you a ride, but it has to be at this time. Otherwise, I can't do it. That is not cold or transactional. That is transparent. Everything else is negotiation happening only in your head, followed by disappointment that the other person didn't read your mind. Step 3. Integrate your shadow. You will never feel truly calm if you are secretly afraid of your own strength. Get on a mat or any other form of physical training where you can safely experience resistance, pressure, and controlled aggression. You need to feel what it's like to push back, to hold your ground, to be under pressure and not disappear. You're not doing this to start fights or play the tough guy. You're doing this so your body finally learns that you are capable of strength, that you can protect something, that you don't have to beg for safety. You can generate it. Women don't want a man who treats aggression as a lifestyle. They also don't feel safe with a man who has no access to his own power at all. What they respond to is a man who knows his limits and his capabilities and chooses when and how to use them. Nice guys wait for permission to change. Men decide. Which one are you going to be after this video ends? Realizing that being nice can be a trap is only the first step. Even if you stop playing the nice guy, you are still walking into a system that wasn't designed with your long-term happiness in mind. I'm talking about the modern dating market. Apps that work more like casinos than like matchmakers. Algorithms optimized not for your relationship quality, but for your screen time. In the next episode of this series, we are going to break down the mathematics of dating apps, the 80-20 rule on the modern sexual marketplace, and why the game feels so different for a small group of men at the top and for everyone else. If you don't want to spend the next decade donating your attention, your time, and your self-respect to a system that treats you like a statistic, you'll want to see that one. If this episode hit you more in the stomach than in the ears, subscribe. Brutal self-mastery. Stop being harmless. Start becoming responsible.